it funny how the world can stare at a woman's body but still not see her? We've memorized her curves, fantasized about her figure, judged her weight like it's a moral flaw, but never asked, what does it cost her to carry that body every day? Y'all love the outside, but can you handle the inside? Can you handle the fact that her body bleeds without breaking? That it creates life while fighting to stay alive itself? That her smile might be showing, but her hormones screaming? Most men don't understand, not because they're incapable, but because they were never taught to care. They told you to desire her, but never to honor her. They trained you to touch her, but never to understand the fire she walks through monthly, silently, while still loving, leading, living. This ain't just about biology. This is about the sacred, the overlooked, the God-crafted miracle you scroll past daily. And if you've got ears, if you've got a soul, then lean in. Because by the time we're done, you won't just respect her body, you'll revere it. And that's a fact most men never learn in time. So don't just listen, witness, because you're about to hear what no screen, no school, no system ever really taught you. What a woman's body truly does. And you need to know, not just for her sake, but for yours. You ever realize how wild it is that a woman's body can bleed for days and still be expected to show up like nothing's happening? Like she ain't in pain, like her body ain't working overtime, like her emotions ain't on a roller coaster that she didn't even sign up for. You don't talk about that in locker rooms. You don't see it in the movies, but it's happening. Every single month, and still, she moves, she smiles, she works, she loves. Most men don't know the weight of it, not because they're heartless, but because no one ever told them. No one ever pulled them to the side and said, hey, you know her body's doing something holy, hard, and heavy all at once? See, her cycle ain't just a week of cramps. It's a system reset. Her hormones shift. Her energy dips. Sometimes her back aches. Sometimes her skin breaks out. Sometimes she feels like crying and can't even tell you why. And it ain't just physical. It's spiritual, emotional, relational. You ever wonder why she seems off sometimes? Like she's in the room but barely holding on? That's her body speaking, and she's still trying to be soft when it's loud in her chest. And the wildest part? Most women don't complain. They just adjust. They go to work. They raise the kids. They cook the meals. They answer your questions. They carry conversations, and sometimes even carry you, all while their own body is making it hard to carry themselves. You think strength is lifting weights. You think toughness is a deep voice or a hard stare. But strength looks like her getting out of bed when her uterus feels like it's at war with her. Toughness looks like her going to that meeting when her stomach is twisting up. Resilience looks like her smiling when her hormones are dragging her emotions all over the place like a storm with no warning. And still, she shows up. Still makes space for you. Still carries the emotional labor like it's a job she was hired for but never paid for. You don't understand that kind of pain unless you sit close to it, unless you ask, unless you care enough to say, how are you really feeling today? Not just, are you okay, but what do you need from me right now? Because she ain't asking for a solution. She's asking for support. She's not saying fix it. She's saying see me. And the thing is, she's been taught to hide it, to tuck it away like it's shameful. Like being human, being hormonal, being in pain is something to apologize for. But why should she say sorry for surviving a cycle that half the world experiences, but almost nobody respects? There is power in a body that breaks and heals itself every single month. There is beauty in a rhythm that reminds her she's not broken, she's designed. There is honor due to a woman who bleeds and still builds, who aches and still loves, who feels everything deeply and still makes room for you to feel too. And if you can't understand it, the least you can do is respect it. You ever really think about what it means for a woman to carry life inside her? I mean, really think about it. Not the picture-perfect version, not the glowing cheeks, baby bump selfies, or soft music playing in the background. I'm talking about the real, the raw, the sacred, and the stretching. Because when a woman's body becomes a home, everything in her shifts. And most men, they'll never understand what that costs her. See, pregnancy isn't just about bringing life into the world. It's about laying your body down for months on end. Her organs move, her back aches, her feet swell, she can't sleep, she can't breathe right, she can't even tie her shoes sometimes, but she does it anyway, day after day, quietly, strongly, lovingly. She carries more than a child. She carries weight, physical, emotional, spiritual. Wait, and don't think for a second that the strength begins with the birth. Nah, it starts long before that. It starts the moment she finds out she's pregnant. It starts when the nausea hits in the morning, but the world still expects her to clock in. It starts when she feels her body expanding and the world starts commenting on her size like it's public property. It starts when her emotions get caught between hormones and fear, and she's trying to figure out how to hold herself together while growing someone else inside her. And then comes the pain, the labor, the process, the tearing, the bleeding, the screams nobody talks about, the risks she carries in her own body just to bring life into the world. And when it's over, it ain't really over, because postpartum isn't a peaceful ending, it's a storm of its own. Sleepless nights, leaking, mood swings, tears that come without warning, a body that feels unfamiliar, a mind that questions everything. Am I enough? Am I failing? Am I still me? And yet, she keeps going. Some women carry life and never get to hold it. Miscarriage is a word we barely say out loud, but it breaks something deep, because her body still remembers, even when the world moves on. The stretch marks stay, the emotions stay, the ache stays. And she carries that too. Silently, like it's just part of being her. And what's wild is she's still expected to show up, to be sweet, to be strong, to keep it all together. She might be grieving, she might be bleeding, she might be empty in places you'll never see. But she still gets up, she still gives, she still loves. Most men will never feel what it means to be stretched in every way and still be expected to nurture. Most men won't understand the sacrifice it takes to offer your body to life, knowing you may never be the same again, knowing your sleep, your sanity, your softness might never come back in the same way. But she does it anyway, not for applause, not for recognition, but because there's something God placed in her, a deep capacity to carry what could crush most. And if that doesn't humble you, if that doesn't make you want to hold her with more care, more patience, more reverence, then you're missing the miracle right in front of you. Because she ain't just a woman, she's a warrior, and her body is not weakness. That's holy ground. You know what's wild? How often a woman's pain is dismissed like it's no big deal. Like she's being dramatic. Like she's just emotional. We throw that word around to shut her down instead of leaning in. And the truth is, most men will never understand the depth of what she's carrying, not because she can't say it, but because the world taught her not to. It starts early. She's told, you're too sensitive when she speaks up, you're too much when she reacts. So she learns to shrink her truth into silence, to sit in pain and smile through it, to bleed through cramps that feel like knives and still show up to work like nothing's happening. She calls it just my period, but what she really means is, I'm fighting my body while pretending I'm fine. But it's more than that, way more. Some women live every day with conditions that have names: endometriosis, PCOS, fibroids, but those names don't come easy. They're told it's just stress, just hormones, just in your head. Doctors don't believe them. Partners don't believe them. Sometimes even they don't believe themselves anymore because the world taught them to question their own pain. And that's the part y'all don't see. That's the silent war. She's pushing through a level of discomfort most men would tap out of. And not once a year, but monthly, weekly, sometimes daily. You ever try showing up to life when your body feels like it's turning against you? When your stomach's tight, your back's on fire, your mood is swinging and your skin is breaking out, but everybody around you still expects you to be nice? That's what she lives over and over again. She wakes up tired, not because she didn't sleep, but because her body spent the whole night in battle mode. And she still makes breakfast, still checks in on you, still carries conversations, and you might not notice it because she's learned how to hide it so well. But just because she's quiet about it doesn't mean she's not in pain. Just because she's strong doesn't mean she's not struggling. Just because she doesn't break down in front of you doesn't mean she hasn't broken down behind closed doors. What you call mood swings might be her trying to regulate a system that's chemically imbalanced. What you call overreacting might be her surviving a day you wouldn't last an hour in. What you call nagging might be the only time she's been honest about how much she's holding in. You don't get to decide how real her pain is just because you don't feel it. That's not how empathy works. You listen, you believe her, you make room for what you don't understand. That's what love looks like. Not fixing it, not minimizing it, but holding it with her, gently, consistently, respectfully. There's nothing soft about the kind of strength it takes to carry pain without passing it on. Stay present when her body's screaming. To keep loving when she's exhausted from pretending she's okay. And maybe it doesn't look heroic to you. Maybe it's not loud or dramatic, but it's holy, it's weighty, it's worthy of reverence. Because the strongest people aren't always the ones who lift the most. They're the ones who carry what no one else even sees. You ever notice how a woman's body is treated like a public topic? Like something that belongs to everyone except her? From the time she's a little girl, the world starts telling her what she should look like, how much space she can take up, what's too much, what's not enough. She's either too skinny or too thick, too bold or too quiet, too covered or too exposed, but never just right. She learns early that her body is always being watched, judged, measured, and not just by strangers, by classmates, by coworkers, by her own reflection. And she starts to internalize that message that her worth is tied to how close she comes to someone else's ideal. But let's be honest, the ideal keeps changing. 1 minute curves are in, the next everyone wants thin. Then it's flat stomachs, but wide hips. Then it's natural hair, but only if it fits a certain mold. Her body becomes a trend, not a temple. And she's constantly adjusting, questioning, comparing. What most men will never understand is how exhausting that is. To wake up every day and feel like your body is an apology. Like you have to shrink to make people comfortable. Like confidence is only allowed if it fits a certain shape, a certain tone, a certain size. She gets told she's too much if she shows pride, but not enough if she doesn't. She's sexualized without her permission and shamed when she takes ownership. She's expected to bounce back after childbirth, like her body didn't just break to bring life. She's expected to smile when strangers comment on her looks in public, as if her appearance is anyone's business but hers. And through all that, she's still out here loving people, still showing up, still making space for others, still carrying the emotional weight of a world that rarely gives her space to rest. But here's the part that humbles me. She still claims her body as her own, even when the world tries to take it, even when media tells her what she should be, even when pain, shame, or trauma tries to silence her voice. She keeps reclaiming it. Every time she chooses to wear what makes her feel whole. Every time she stops apologizing for her body's shape, size, or story. Every time she says no and means it. Every time she says yes and owns it. That's a quiet kind of rebellion. Not loud, not flashy, but sacred. It's powerful to walk through a world that keeps telling you you're not enough, and still carry your head high. Still nourish your body. Still speak life over it. Still believe it's good, even when the mirror lies. That takes more strength than most will ever realize. So before you judge, before you comment, before you joke, pause. Ask yourself, would I survive the pressure she walks through daily? The gaze she lives under? The weight she's expected to carry with a smile? Because her body is not a stage for your entertainment. It's not a product for your consumption. It's not a problem to be solved or a prize to be earned. It's hers, and every day she claims it as sacred. She is defying a world that tried to name her without knowing her. And that is strength you were never taught to see.